What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today we have another interesting shotgun slug for you guys, and this is one that I'm very excited for. So for a long time now, I have been looking for a slug that rivals our patented spicy slug, and today we might just finally have one. This is the 12 gauge triple threat. It is a projectile with 3 gaps spaced evenly apart. This is what it looks like before completion, and this is what it looks like after completion. In those grooves are 3 22 blanks, which is obviously where it gets the name triple threat. So the 22 is a rimfire cartridge. If you don't understand how rimfire works, basically the entire rim of the shell casing is the primer. So a strike on any part of that rim should set the 22 blanks off. And since they're placed in the projectile backwards, when it travels and hits the target, they should go off. In theory, this thing sounds awesome. How effective will it actually be? I don't know. Let's find out. Now, real quick before we get started, I want to thank Evan Perry, the same guy who sent the ceramic slugs that we used a couple weeks ago, is the guy who sent us these. He does have a YouTube channel called the Rhinestone Hurricane. I believe he also has a business where he makes some pretty cool stuff. So check him out, all his social media, and again, thank you, Evan Perry, for sending the triple threat. Let's try these bad boys. All right, guys, for this video, or at least most of it, we are gonna use the Boss G over-under shotgun. One thing that occurred to me with a round like this that has 22 blanks on the surface, you probably don't want rounds slamming into each other inside of a magazine tube. That could obviously lead to a premature detonation. I'm sure most of us are no stranger to premature detonations. It's never a good time. So if you had it properly crimped and sunk, it probably wouldn't be a problem, but we don't. So we are using the over-under for this one. Go ahead and load our first round. You can see it right there. Triple threat, attempt number 1. By the way, shout out to Vortex for sending us the Defender XL. This is basically a bigger version of the last optic that I had from them. Bigger housing, bigger window, auto shut off, shake awake, all the features you would find on a high-end optic at a much better price point. So check them out, Vortex. These are quickly becoming some of my favorite optics. All right, here we go. I'm gonna try to hit that orange steel target and we'll see what happens. I definitely saw a flash. I'm not sure if it was at the muzzle or on the steel target. Let's watch the slow-mo. Okay, it turns out it was both. There was definitely a good muzzle flash on the gun, and there was also a reaction on the steel. So this is where the shotgun slug hit, right there. You can see some of the spalling that occurred on impact. It also dented my steel target, which no other shotgun slug has ever done. It could be what the slugs are made out of. They do feel like a pretty hard metal, or it could be the 22 blanks. Not sure, but either way, it definitely worked, and that was absolutely awesome. Okay, we got one more. We'll put on the steel. This time I'm gonna shoot the blue steel target. That one is actually rifle rated, so. I'm trying to chamber him gently so the slug doesn't fall out of the shell in the barrel. Let's see if this one works. That is awesome. The muzzle flash is unique. I'm not sure if it has to do with the 22 blanks or just this particular shell that I'm using, but both of those have had a giant muzzle flash. And there is that bullet impact right there. You can actually see the brass from those 22 blanks hitting the steel. Pretty cool. I will say they're not quite as dramatic as our spicy slugs, but they are the next best thing. Probably the second coolest shotgun slug I've ever tested. All right, we're gonna try one more on the steel. This one has green 22 blanks in it. The first 2 that I fired, I used yellow 22 blanks. Yellow are actually more powerful than the green, but I just wanna see if this might give us a better result. Put our slug in the shell, chamber it. We're going for the blue target again. Okay, that one definitely had a big muzzle flash. We'll have to watch the slow-mo and see what it did on target. There's our shotgun shell, still smoking. These things freaking rule. Okay, now I have an empty spray paint can. Obviously, this stuff is flammable, and I want to see if the triple threat will give us enough of a spark to maybe start a little fire. Probably not, but it's worth a shot. Okay, I've got the steel target behind it just to increase our chances. There is our triple threat slug. Not too optimistic about this one, but it would be cool if we got a little fireball. Let's try it. Nope. Nope. Well, it did quite the number on our spray paint can. You can see the exit hole right there, but we did not get a fireball, unfortunately. Okay, now I have a little propane can duct taped to our blue steel target. I feel like if this was gonna work, it probably would have worked with the spray paint, but propane is a lot more flammable, so let's try it. Triple threat slug, chambered. See if we can get a little fireball. Yes! Still burning. I knew it was possible. Watching the slow-mo of these slugs just hitting the steel, there's definitely some little sparks coming off of them. And with the propane can, all it takes is one spark. We did it. All right, there's our propane can. Entrance hole right there on the front and exit hole right there on the back. And here is our steel target with the duct tape just absolutely melted, probably instantaneously. And again, I knew it was possible. I'm honestly surprised the spray paint didn't work, because when you watch the slow-mo, you can clearly see on impact, there's quite a few sparks coming off of those slugs. But it looks like the propane was flammable enough to give us the result. That was pretty sweet. All right, we got a couple targets left. We'll go ahead and start with a watermelon. Now, typically, birdshot and buckshot are better watermelon destroyers than slugs. They typically don't do a whole lot, but this is not a regular slug, so let's see what it does. I don't think the watermelon will be hard enough to get the desired reaction, but let's find out. Oh my God. Okay, I think I was wrong. It looks like the watermelon might have been hard enough to give us the desired result, because that was easily the most dramatic watermelon explosion I have ever seen from a 12 gauge shotgun slug. By far. Whew. All right, guys, final target of the day, and of course, it's a ballistic dummy lab head. As always, we have it screwed into the table so it doesn't just fall off when we shoot it, and we have now seen what these slugs can do on steel, watermelons, propane cans, stuff like that. But what about an actual self-defense scenario? Let's find out. Okay, one thing I'm curious about on this test is the penetration. Obviously, most shotgun slugs will blow right through those ballistic dummy heads. So I want to see if the reaction on impact from the triple threat will cause it to break apart and maybe stop in the target. Probably not, but let's find out. I'm gonna try to put it right in the middle. Well, that was not what I expected. Aside from the spicy slug, that might be the most dramatic shotgun load we've ever shot at a ballistic dummy head. Holy crap. Well, I hope you guys could see on camera what I could see in person, which is 50% of the contents of that head shot back into the woods over our backstop. So we don't have a lot of it here, but I'll go ahead and show you what we do have left. So it looked like a good hit, pretty much right in the middle of the forehead, and there is nothing left inside that ballistic dummy head. This dude is now a convertible. This looks like the upper jaw, top row of teeth, nose, stuff like that, and then back here laying on the ground, we've got some more. So obviously ballistic shell, bone fragments, stuff like that, and like I said, a lot of it just got yeeted back into the woods, who knows how far. Whoa, look at that. Laying on the table right behind our ballistic dummy head are a ton of these little paper thin layers of our shotgun slug, and they look like little throwing star razor blade looking things. So I assume the slug is just made out of a bunch of these pieces pressed together, and on impact, because of the 22s, I imagine, it just blew apart. And all these are laying on the table right behind the head. There's probably 15 or 20 of them there. And then just to show you a comparison, I went ahead and grabbed one of our slugs that has not been fired yet. If you look carefully inside those gaps, you can kind of see each individual layer. There's probably 20 or 30 of them, and it looks like there's a kingpin going right through the middle that's holding it all together. So when the slug hits something and the 22s react, apparently this is the result. All those layers come off and break into little pieces. And man, I cannot imagine what kind of damage those things would do. Well, I didn't know that those slugs were a bunch of really thin layers all pressed together, but that result kind of revealed the design to us. And as if they weren't effective enough, when they react, you get 20 or 30 little razor blades basically all moving around inside the target. That is gnarly. All right, guys, that is gonna conclude our video on the triple threat 12 gauge shotgun slug. You guys saw the results. There's not much else to say. Very impressive, definitely exceeded my expectations, and these are easily one of the most impressive shotgun slugs I have ever tested. And again, I wanna thank Evan Perry for sending these out. His YouTube channel is the Rhinestone Hurricane. Go check him out. Obviously, without him, this video would not be possible. So I really appreciate that. If you all enjoyed the video, please hit the like button for me, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.